this week I'm sending in my marina application. This is this actual week. Today is the 7th of June 2016. I'm sending in the marina application this week. I've already got all the application paperwork filled out, and I'm sending them the deposit, the application deposit, and I'm hoping that by sending it in this week, today's the 7th, sorry, Tuesday, I get paid 1 week and 2 days from today. And that will be an 88-hour pay period. And so as long as I can keep myself busy around here, then, and my boss actually pays me on time, then by sending in that money today or this week, they won't be able to, you know, it'll take a couple of days for the paperwork to make it to California, and then it'll take them a couple of days to process it. So if they were to actually offer me a slip immediately, which I don't think is going to happen, it would happen on roughly, let's see, the 15th or 16th, which would give me the, you know, then I would get paid and have the money to actually drive out there and buy. I need to buy an impeller, and I'm for the freshwater intake pump. I mean, it works right now, but I've had it about 2 years and I've never changed it, and I mean to all the time, but since I don't motor it around the bay a lot yet, it hasn't really been a big thing. I usually am working on other stuff, which you guys are gonna, you know, continue to see. So what I want to do on this video is basically show you guys what I do for a living, because once I have a slip that I can live on, I need a job. So, you know, I'm not rich, and I'm definitely not, you know, expecting any landfall of money anytime soon. So if I want to be able to fix anything, I got to pay for it myself. Quiet. Who knows? I doubt there's anybody there, but they'll bark at anything. Squirrel running across the parking lot. Anyway, you know, that's kind of where we are. And so this next video is basically it's a video resume. I've been at this job for 12 years. I'm the longest running employee at this point. There was a guy who was here for 8 years just before, well, he was here before I got here, but he started drinking on the job and basically fired himself a couple of years ago. So at this point I've been here for 12 years, and I pretty much know every job in the place except for the actual testing of the units, because the boss has never shown me how to do that. It is the job that I had when I worked at SpectraLink, was testing phones and controllers for those, sending units, the computer systems, and I ran a portion of the assembly for quite a while. Then I also worked for PAR Technologies, which used to be called PAR Microsystems, and for them I did online technical support for their cash registers with Taco Bell. Basically they would call me up, or they'd call us up, and we would talk them through reprogramming whatever they had either messed up or had gotten messed up by an employee. We had no link to their system. It had to be all questions and answers, and then we would instruct them and hope they got it right. And I actually loved that job. It was an awesome job. Didn't pay very well, but I will need a job when I get to California. So here's what we do, and here's what I do. This is our back panel configuration for drilling holes into back panels. We can just stack them up on here, screw them down with nuts, and drill holes into them. Sorry, fell down. I was drilling this hole through 4 back panels. I'm trying to line up this hole to go through these panels, and I want it to be as centered as I can get it. See, that's offset by a little, so. But this bit seems to be offset, you know, crooked too. And it's not the bit; it's the chuck, which is jacked up. So this has not been my normal job, but just the guy that used to do this, the guy that first did this when he started working here, started drinking on the job and then fired himself. And the second guy just quit a couple of months ago. And, you know, I'm okay with it. I get more hours now. So today I've been cutting bus bars, aluminum bus bars, and I'm using this one as a template instead of measuring each one manually. Just keep using the same one, using a box knife to scratch a line into it. And this one is at the end of this bar. They start off as a 6-foot bar we've got up here. I set it into the saw here. This doesn't really lock anymore. You can see if I hold it down, it can kind of tighten up, and it's just stripped out. Kind of sucks. But, basically, this one I want to mark up the other direction. I want it to come down on the outside of the line. This is the last one in the bar. I've already cut 20 of them, and I have 6 extra from before that were like this one. So, there you go. And it'll eventually end up looking like one of these. We've got 4 extra from the last build. But, that's what I'm doing right now. And this is the first time I've ever done this. No one's ever instructed me in any way. You just see what it is. It's pretty simple. So. And this goes right here. So you're supposed to line all these holes up, and it should be level, and all these basically are not very accurate. This one's accurate in what it is, but it's not quite long enough. It's a little close in the corners, and you can't really use this to mark the holes. So what I did was took a piece of this fiberboard and I made, basically it's a stencil. They did this for years, but for some reason they never got around to doing it on this. And I'm taking this clamp, clamping that down. I'll do that real quick. I've been using the table and centering it. This is also going to be our how we're going to cut the bars for length in the future, because they have been getting shorter and shorter. Take this ultrafine Sharpie, stick it in the hole, make a little mark. I do it on all of the holes we're going to drill, but this puts a perfect center hole as to where we want these parts to be, or these holes to be. And after that I just pop it off, set that off to the side, take this punch, I go through and I just set it into each mark, punch a little hole. Like I said, on this one I go between the two holes, and then this puts a little dent where you want the drill bit to actually go into the spot. So it basically centers the part of the drill bit so that you can't miss. There's a clamp here, drill vise. I need to get a light over here because it's a little dim in this corner. And put a little oil. This is aluminum, and you definitely don't want that bit to get too hot, or the part to get too hot, or the oil will, so the oil gives a little bit of lubricant to keep that down. Then line it up and drill our hole. Drill out these three holes. This is the first one I did. This is the original, the original one that was sitting in the box. I need this bolt to be able to thread into these holes, and so we have these really nifty little self-tapping drilling bits. I had to find the right size for that. So at this point we're back at the drill press. We have the three dents here that are the larger holes that need to be tapped. And we're going to drill those out, and I'll come in there in just a second. These three holes in. And wipe that off. And take it over here. Just straight as possible. Okay. Be careful while you're doing this, huh?